Hello, everyone. My name is Javakun, and I'm your friendly Discord mod, and I'm here with,
Term.
and we're gonna go over the Fire portal and the Fire Origin attribute cards. Um, let's start off with the Fire Knight. So, the Fire Knight is a 800 base attack with 3 equip ability. This ally ignores all Earth equipped cards on your opponent's field. When summoned, banish one face down card on the field. Okay, what are your thoughts, Term?
So with this one is actually different from the others. With the whole ignoring equipment cards, with the second effect having when the card is summoned, it banishes one face down card, and for being an 800 base attack and 3 equipment, I personally this one's not bad, but with the whole first part of the effect, it's kind of also situational. It has to be Earth, but at least with the second part, that really comes in handy. But
Yeah,
sadly, it's only when you specifically when you summon that card. It can't happen afterwards. Someone places a face down. It's only when he's put on the field.
so I'm gonna say one thing, and I think this card is way above all the other cards that we've
Yes.
seen with this effect. Just
Hmm.
because, yes, the first effect it's kind of a bummer. It's situational, right? You're trying to go against Earth, and yeah. But the second effect, the fact that you can banish a face down card on the field, and this face down card on the field doesn't have to be an ally. It can target a equip card, right? So basically, you drop this down whenever you know you have to basically get rid of something. If
Hmm.
it's a turn two, most people, when they're trying to cover for turn one and they don't want to overexpose themselves, they play cards face down, boom, banish them. And the fact that you banish them means if it had an effect that would trigger on the discard pile, boom, it no longer triggers on the discard pile. If it had some type of protection that, oh, you can't destroy, no, 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 no. It's banished, right?
Yeah, that's what I like about that card. It doesn't say it gets discarded. If it was discarded, I would have dropped it down to a C. But for it to being banished, I definitely put him at a B. Where you have him, that he should stay there.
I think so too. I think this is a good. Actually, it's a solid B class.
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay, moving on, we have the Wildfire Knight. It's a 1400 0 EA. When this card is summoned, you can either banish the top card on your opponent's portal or return any card on your field plus any cards may have equipped back to, or it may have equipped back to your hand. So basically, this card one banishes the top card of your opponent, and then or just return something from the field to the hand. It's the bounce. It's the bounce card.
It's just another bounce card.
Yep. Again, I don't know if this one's also getting that treatment where it's only bouncing fire attribute cards in the errata in the future, but for now, um,
For being any card.
I think like I can see people playing this because it has a nice big attack, but I also wouldn't play it myself. Like I
I
think there's
think
better cards.
I think it's more the banishing. You can banish a card as well, or you can banish the top of someone else's um portal. Like it could come in handy, but it at the end of the day, that's all it's done for.
Yeah, like that is it's good effect. Just because I wouldn't use it to bounce something honestly. Like I would mostly use it to do that banishing. But the thing is, like, you don't know. Like right now, we do not have a card that lets you see your opponent's portal or the top cards of your portal right now. Since we don't have that, you can't really do a strategic move with that. You're essentially just playing it blindly, like, oh, I might burn a dud or I might burn a gold piece, right?
Hmm.
So, C tier to me.
Yeah, I can agree with you on that. Like at most, I say high C with being able to banish a card, but I mean, as what you said, we don't know. You might have just burned a sprite. Oh well, and
Yep,
that's about it.
yep. The Red Flame Rider. Red Flame Rider is an 800 or a 300X, where X is this card's base attack is either this or that, the amount of banished cards on your opponent has. Here's the problem. If your opponent has 0 and you chose the 300X, then you're screwed because this card now has 0, right? That's kind of the whole point of
Hmm.
the effect dictates the base attack for this card. And here's also the second problem. If you chose the 800, which is why would you do that? This card's pointless. Just
Yeah, because you can't switch over. Like if they did have a like late
yeah,
game, a lot of banished cards, we're only stuck at that base of 800.
yeah, exactly. So like it's a 2 EA, which means you can't equip like you can't even activate like heavy like equip cards like your banishing gaze or stuff like that that require 3. Um yes, you can buff it to something past, 1200 or try to buff it past 1400, but you're going to be spending so much to get that going. So, where does the synergy lie with this card? It lies with the banishing of your opponent's monsters, right? But since it start at 300, you're basically saying that you need more than 3 cards on your opponent's banish zone to be able to make this card have more attack than if you would have just chosen the 800. Because then it would
Right.
like that on its own is ludicrous. It's not worth it. I know people have made this card insanely powerful. I think
Hmm.
I heard a story from somebody in the Discord that basically they bumped it up to like 4,200, something ridiculous,
Yeah,
right?
that was against me. I think it was me and can't remember if it was Wonderful or um or TD. It was one or the other. I went against. They passed it over 4,000. There, I had nothing to do there.
I mean, again, it has to be like this card could have been so much better by just saying the amount of banished cards like anyone has, like either
In
yours or
any in
like
any banish.
zone. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So that would have made it a lot more sense because then you can use your own banish zone as kind of like this play area where you're using it actively, right? Trying to get your own cards banished. But it's dependent on your opponents. You really have a full control of what if your opponent's playing Deep Sea Knights in a 3 copy? You're screwed. Right? Your opponent's gonna be constantly getting rid of their banish zone, so this card becomes a dud.
Right, right. You're basically only gonna stuck at 0.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give it props because it can go big, but it's
Hmm.
not gonna go anything higher than C. And I actually think it's worse than this card.
I give it to you that like you had to work off your opponent than working off of yourself.
You have to overcommit to make this card work, which does not work for me.
Hmm.
So, next card. Ruby Knight. Ruby Knight is a 600 with 2 EA. Once per turn, you can discard a fire card from your hand. If you do, banish the top two cards of your opponent's portal. Okay, so here's the banishing synergy. It is not a terrible card if you're going to
Mhm.
do this every single turn. If you're going to do this every single turn, you can basically make your opponent lose the game by not having like crucial pieces of their portal, right? Two cards is better than just one card, right?
Right.
I mean, two cards in a 30 card portal can very quickly get rid of key combo components, negates, your equip cards, right? In a standard 2010 type of deck, where you have 10 equip cards and 20 allies, you do this once and you effectively took out what 1/5 of their equip cards possibly, right?
Mhm.
So
Yeah, yeah.
do this multiple times and it's a good card. Only do this once and it's a terrible card. It's a 600. Anything can basically beat it at this point, honestly. It has two EAs, but the problem with two EAs is that it's not enough. Like, okay, okay. If I were to give it the best equipment cards that I think you can use right now, which is one is that Dark Chaos Portal, the Dark Chaos Sword card, and two being something like the white cloak thing, the other card that also gives it plus 400. We're talking about this card becomes a 1400 and it's still not great. It honestly still not is. You overcommitted to a card to get it to 1400. Somebody places down one card, Ultimate Protector, and boom, it can destroy this card.
Mhm. Um. Yeah. With that being said, I like the effect that you can get banish the two cards. Like it's nice. The low attack, it'll definitely get beat by everything. You can at most use this once. I'd be surprised if this lasts another round, basically.
I would go immediately to destroy it.
Right, right. If anything, I would say with how it is, I would say it's a high C. Just flat out, just as a card alone, being able to just destroy two cards instead of one, it's nice.
Okay, I'll give it to you. High C. Okay, next one. Ooh, the
Ooh,
girl.
the Flame Squire. That's a nice card.
No, you know what? I'm not even gonna. I'm gonna do better justice than this. I'm sorry. Where the hell is the alt art for it? Do they have the? Okay, yes, yes. Let's go. Let's go.
Oh man,
I'm
look
sorry.
at that.
Okay, this is the best alt art in the game. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
Flame Squire. Flame Squire is a 300x to uh equip ability. This card, when this card goes to battle, rolls a six-sided die. This card gets 300x the number you rolled. So at minimum, it is a 300 base attack. That's the minimum. But roll a six, you essentially went up to something like 1800. It's not bad. Wait, is it 1800? Yeah.
No, yeah,
Uh,
you're right.
yeah. It's not bad. Um, but you have to, you have to weigh the odds. This card.
So basically, it's a 50-50 chance to be a mid-tier card or a low-tier card. Three rolling a three or higher, mid-tier to high-tier. Rolling a three or lower, it's literally mid-tier to low-tier. You're playing 50-50 here. You're going off of luck.
You are, yeah, effectively you are, and again, 2 EA, so you can't really
Mhm.
activate a lot of stuff with it. Yes, you can buff it. so on, so on. The By the way, this is very important. The buff does not apply to the roll. The buff is just a buff separately. So I want to make that clear because sometimes people think, oh, well, I gave it plus 200. So is it a 500x now? No, it's not a 500x now. It is a 300x plus the separate buff alone. So where do you place it?
So for that, doing like a 50-50, I mean, you got a 50 chance to be a mid tier to high tier. I put it at a B. I would put it over the Fire Knight. No, I'll keep it where it is, actually.
Yeah, same thing. I would keep it where it is.
Yeah, it's basically 50-50 chance.
Yep. Okay, next card is. Oof, this card. Okay. Explain this card. Turn.
So the Red Samurai. When summoned, banish all face down allies on your opponent's field. Any equipment, any equipped cards go back to the owner's portal, not to discard, but back to the owner's portal. Your turn ends immediately after this action, though. This card cannot be destroyed the turn after it is played, which is nice to have.
Yep.
And then it has 1,000 base attack with one equipment cost. One equip.
Yep. Okay. Your thoughts.
So my thoughts on this: if I ever get this card right off the bat, I won't play it. To be honest, for this card to be useful, it would have to be my second turn if I do pull this card, because as what you said, everyone wants to have, you know to keep their field safe by playing face down cards, so you can have that relief on the first turn, so you don't get attacked directly.
Mm-hmm.
So for this, I would definitely play anything past early game. This card will be beyond useful late game when people are still having all these face down traps, or a mid tier game, mid game, most definitely. At If anything, I would definitely throw this up at a A. With being able to just having all cards to be banished, it's nice. All face down cards, it's nice to have, especially equipment. Just going back to the portal hand.
Okay, so here's my take on this. I have the complete opposite view of you. I hate this card sometimes. I hate it.
Really?
Yes. This card has been a dud in my hand more times than I can count.
Mm. Okay. Okay.
I have had it and I've never been really able to gain good value of it. And because if you play it, you basically have to end your turn. That's to me
Right. Right.
that
Right.
I hate that part. I hate that you have to end your turn when you play this card. So it it annoys me that I can't play it face down, because if I play it face down, it's a thousand, and anything can go over 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if I play it face up, I end my turn. Yes, it can't be destroyed the next turn, but at that point, you just gave your opponent, unless you get value. And there was one game that I played with somebody, and it was their first turn. No, it was my first turn. I played 3 cards face down. His turn, he played this, and I got wrecked. Right? Because it's an immediate. You just gain so much advantage by basically just wiping out your opponent's board that you're good. Right? Now,
Mm-hmm.
now, here's the thing. The next game we played, I did it to him on the freaking same exact thing. He played 3 cards face down, and I played it to him, and it felt great because, justice was served. The problem is, you do not play this card for one face down card. You do not.
No.
I don't think so. You play it for 2 face down cards. You play it for 3, for 4. maybe three equips. One equip, you don't play this card. No, it doesn't
It's
make sense.
it basically has to be two cards or more. It can't just be one.
Yeah, and
Which,
sorry, and I wasn't mentioning just equips. Like it targets its face down allies, not equips. But what I'm saying is, it you need to have at least one target to do this on. More than one target to do this on, because if not, it is not worth it to give up your the turn to attack to do other things. It's not worth it.
okay, right, I get what you're saying. Yeah. So if anything, it would be like a situational. Has to be two or more cards. Uh, two or more allies face down. If not, it's not going to be usable. I wouldn't see that.
Yeah, I'm honestly I'll leave it where it is at the
Oh
end of B
yeah.
tier.
All right. Yeah. I get what you're saying with how it has to with the situation where it has to be more than one face down card.
Yeah, if not, it's gonna live in your hand, and it's not gonna
Yeah.
do anything. Like there are so many people that play face down cards on their first two turns, and then
Mhm.
after that they never play a face down card because
I can see that.
the only reason why you would play a face down card is if you know you're gonna get advantage out of that face down card. We're talking Red Shadow, which we're gonna cover in a bit. We're talking Vix, chess. We're talking Mimic. We're talking cards that benefit you when you attack them face down.
Mhm.
Why would you put a big boy face down after turn two? Why wouldn't you just play it face up and attack? Right?
Right. Right.
So yeah, that's why I was saying like, I'm opposite to what you were saying of the late game versus the early game. Okay.
Right.
Flame Golem. Here's another Golem for Golem synergy. You must discard at least one card from your field to play this card. If you discard another Golem, this card gains plus 500 until the end of the turn. This card's amazing.
Yeah. With its high base attack, and then with the effect, um, being able to discard another golem just to get that nice 500, it's chunky. 2100 right off the rip. Sad thing, it does only stay till the end of the turn, but even after, he's still at 1600, which is pretty high.
Yeah, it's honestly it's high enough where other people are going to need to climb to get to it, right? 1500 is the normal amount of attack a regular ally has that it could be, difficult to get to. Once you get to 1600, you need to be using equip cards. You need to be giving up something to get up there. So cards that have more than 1600 are difficult to destroy. Put it at 2100 and this card becomes insane for a turn. The funny thing is it's golem synergy, right? Pair
Hmm.
these with the earth golems that count what's in the discard pile, and boom, there you go. You have more synergy. So I think it's right
Right.
on A. A is the place for synergy, right?
Hmm.
And it has decent amount of attack, and it has a good effect. Yes, it costs one card to throw it onto the field, but you could always decide what card that is. It's not like it's a random card. So you can always say, "Oh, I don't need this card in my hand. Let's put it out." Or hey, I want to make my hand lighter, right? Because there's so many times where you have nothing to play in your hand, and you just want to get rid of half of your hand to be able to draw more cards, right?
Right.
So this is a good card.
Hmm. Especially as what you said, it's synergized with the golem portal.
Yep.
You discard a golem, and then you had another golem that's benefiting and with golems and discard. Boom, two cards already benefiting from this. It's insane.
Yeah. Go for Blazing Golem.
So blazing golem. So if you have at least one other face-up fire ally on your field when this card is summoned, you can discard an equip card from your opponent's field. If you have two allies on your field, you
Fire
can
allies.
banish two fire allies on your field. You can banish the top card of your opponent's portal as well.
Yep.
So basically, a 2-in-1 hit
Yep.
on the opponent.
Yep. Two in one hit, and it's a
And
golem.
he has, yep, he's a golem. He has 900 base attack with one equipment.
Yep. So where would you put him?
So for him, I would put it at an A. You would have, yes, you could be running a mono team, a fire mono. You throw him in, boom. You're already getting rid of two equipment cards on the opponent, and banishing his top card. Like, man,
Uh,
that it,
it's one. It's you
you
when you
can
summon this,
banish
it's one equip card.
one equip card and one banish card.
Right. So you basically, if you have two, you do both effects. If you have
Mm-hmm.
one, you do one. But I mean, even though with the one effect, this is pretty good, right? Just by having one face up. Now, I don't think it's fully A tier. I think it's B, and I think it's top B. I think it actually,
Definitely a B plus, like a low A but high B.
yeah, I think it's there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sprites. C.
Yeah, that for Fire Sprite, this card can be also treated as an equipment card to any ally with a 300 base attack, 3 EA, and then 1 equipment cost. You can have 3 of them.
Yep.
There's nothing else to it. He's just a C.
Yep. He's just a C. Okay, next one. Red Shadow. Fire
Red
Shadow.
Shadow.
Fire Shadow.
A
Sorry.
Fire Shadow. So this card is, while this card is attacked while face down, banish the attacking card. Any cards equipped go back to the owner's portal. So it has 400 base attack, but for 3 equipment cost. 3 equipment space.
What do you
This
think?
card, I will never just play. I will always play this face down.
Obviously.
Whoever plays this as a face up, they're insane.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
But as a face down, I do really love using this card as a face down trap. It will always get someone.
Yep. So I think this is actually an A tier card.
Hmm.
It is um it's a good card to have in the portal in any fire portal. Just put it face down, boom, there you go. Problem is if you're playing against your opponent and your opponent knows that you do not have many cards that you play face down, they're gonna immediately know what this card is. So let's say you played one match and you played this card face down. And in the entire game, you didn't play another face down card. What do you think he's going to do in round two when you play this card face down? He's going to know what it is. And he's going to know it's Fire Shadow. And he's not going to try to attack it. Well, if you don't attack it, it doesn't do anything face down, right? Now, you said this card face up is not good, right?
Like I wouldn't personally use this as a face up card.
Okay, here's the thing. This card's great because of its EA.
Hmm.
Banishing Gaze is a 3 EA cost, and you can use this as a target for Vanishing Gaze to get rid of something troubling on the opponent's side. So I do think it has its merit face up or face down. It's just a matter of how you pair it with a equip. In this case, I would only pair it with equips that are 3 cost, not 1, not 2, 3. And second, uh, equip cards that basically get it rid of it at the moment you play it. So we're talking cards that use it as uh, fodder, essentially.
Okay.
Do you agree?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I definitely agree with what you said there.
Uh,
What
Red
is that?
Dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Red Dragon. It's a 1200 0 EA. If this card is destroyed, banish the top card of your opponent's portal. Okay, so again, another banish card. I
For me personally, I
I don't play this
f-
one.
I would put it at a D tier because how it has to be destroyed just to banish the top card. Um, Not like the other ones where it's when it's summoned or something like that. This
Right.
one, it has to be destroyed just to banish it.
Yeah, you're essentially giving up a point to this card to banish an opponent's card. Come on, that's not worth it.
Yeah, totally not.
Okay, next one.
Ancient Fire Dragon. So this card's base attack is 1200 or 400 times the amount banished cards your opponent has. So 1200 or 400 times with zero equipment cost.
God,
What's your thought on that?
it's
So
worse. It's worse than Rider. It's actually worse than Rider. You want to know why it's worse than Rider?
because it doesn't have the equipment.
Because it doesn't have the equipment. There you go.
Yeah, I go with you on that. Without the equipment, like say at least with Ryder, if he does start out at zero, if you ever do that, I don't know who would, but if you do, you at least have the equipment space to get it off of zero. Let's go off of that.
Yeah, exactly.
With this card, sadly, if you're at zero, you're staying at zero, no matter how you feel about it.
Yep, exactly. That is exactly it. So that means at the end of the day, this card's worse. Not only because of, not having EA, like if this card would have said 600x or I might even say 500x. If it was 500x, I would have probably say it's better than Flame Rider. But it's only 400x. You still need freaking three
Three cards.
cards to be able to make this card decent. Just to
Hmm.
meet its base attack if you didn't actually use its effect. And as a 1200 do nothing card is nothing. It's worse than this fire dragon, honestly. So literally, if you use the first attack, it goes into D tier. If you use the second attack, the second ability, you better have that synergy of discarding a bunch of banished cards from your opponent. Again, not not the greatest in my opinion. It doesn't stand on its own two legs. Now,
Right.
okay, next one. Red Sun.
Red Sun. All cards on the field except fire attributes lose 300 attack. It has one equipment cost, and that's all to it.
Okay, who would you play this with?
Who would I play with this?
Yeah,
I personally, I'd just throw it on a mono fire. Specifically, who? Ooh, mm.
yeah,
That I actually don't know. I haven't used the actual fire portal yet, surprisingly. So
look.
I
I played a Portal. No, not me. I played a game against Keith, and I think the other person was Havoc. If I don't remember, it was either Havoc or Gunther, and it was one of the. It honestly felt like a championship match right there, all three of us. And Keith was playing this insane hand where he literally played this with his creator card, and he had Zaldrex, and he had a bunch of these other big guys on the board. And these 300 lose attack comes into so perfectly because you stack this up with Swamp Knight and you essentially cripple your opponent's board. You
Right.
just cripple them.
With that, you basically drop 600 if you had both.
Yeah. 600 is essentially saying, oh, you had an equip card? Ignore it. Oh, you buffed your I remember it's like, oh, you buffed your what was it? The white rogue knight? It doesn't matter. Literally, that's literally what it means. Because White Rogue Knight at maximum by your own board can only get plus 600 because it doesn't count itself and it counts three other spots, right? So you
Hmm.
play this and you play Swamp Knight and you essentially say nope to White Rogue Knight.
Basically, the two equipment you put on someone will be useless unless they're like high equipment. But if they're like low equipment, they're basically pointless.
Yeah. You can equip this to Swamp Knight because Swamp Knight has two equip slots, right? And use the other equip slot for something like Heart of Light plus um I don't know, white light attractor if you want to do that, right? And there you go. You just stalled the game for 3 turns and you crippled your opponent while at it, right?
Yeah, you just also have to be running a mono fire for this card to
It but
benefit.
but you don't have to necessarily. You just need to make sure that at the time you play this, the cards that you have on your field are fired,
Mm-hmm.
which
At least.
exactly, which at least there are a few couple cards that are decent in the fire section.
Yes.
Um, so I think to me it's S. It stands on its two legs. It's a great equip card. It's a terrible thing to see if your opponent plays it because you know what's coming right after that.
Oh
So
man.
so yeah. We're gonna go next one. Fire Summoner. You want to go through that real quick?
So search your portal for any fire summon. If you have no cards on the field, you can play this card for 0 equipment cost during your opponent's combat phase. For 2 equipment cost,
Yeah.
and you can just use it immediately or not. That one, as always, it's just a C tier. Like, yeah, it's nice to bring out a summon, but other than that, that's all it is.
Yep. Okay. Next one. Fire. No, Crown of Fire King. The plus 300 plus 200 fire. If this card is destroyed, you can banish a card from your opponent's discard pile. 1 EA cost. So, do you play this card often?
I used it actually once, to be honest, and I it was all right for me. It was only I didn't have a fire portal, so it only helped me with 300.
Yep.
But um, from from that, just being able to just banish a opponent's card from the discard. I mean, it's cool and all, but
That's where I
all in
think.
all in all, basically.
Where would you put it?
Man, for me personally, I just throw it where you have it. Actually, there's not really much to it. Like it would be nice if it was on field, but from discard pile, there's not much to it unless he actually has something real good in his discard pile. But other than that,
So,
th-
the only place I have seen it matter, it's been two instances. One, you're trying to get rid of a Neptune's armor. right? Because
Mhm.
you essentially banish it, and your opponent can't negate that. Two, um, you can use it to get rid of something like a golem or a samurai or stuff like that that is trying to synergize off of the discard zone, right?
Right.
That's the only place where I've seen it. But I don't think the effect matters honestly enough to make this card great. I'll put
Yeah.
it at
No.
C because it's a decent amount if you attach it to a fire guy. You know, if you attach it to the portal guy, the bright knight from the portal,
Mhm.
he's pretty good with it, right? Because
He makes it a zero
zero.
cost instead of one,
Yeah,
which
it's a zero cost plus 500. It's great, right? On him, specifically on him.
right because he can equip fire and light.
Yeah.
So,
So that's why it's good on him. But overall, middle C, that's where it lives. Okay, next one.
which is the fire sword.
Yep.
Love the art on that.
Yeah, great art.
It, this card is sent to the discard pile. Banish the top card of your opponent's portal. Plus 200, plus extra 100 to fire attribute, and it's a one equipment cost. Um, same thing. This card, not really
Understandable.
much, not really much to it. It's basically what you just talked about. Unless you're trying to get rid of a negate, that's where you usually. Oh, well, it's the top card of your opponent's portal, so it's actually just. I wouldn't. Yeah, I was about to say I wouldn't run it either.
I wouldn't
It
play this
just.
card. It's
I
too
wouldn't
low.
either.
It's too low.
You're not really benefiting anything from it. At most, if you're not running a fire, you're getting only 200 for a one equipment cost. It's not really helping me.
Yep, that's pretty much it. Okay, next one.
The Fire Kingdom.
Yep. Fire King.
So,
Oh, you go ahead. You go ahead.
uh, so for the Fire Kingdom, this card gains plus 100 to all fire allies on your field for every banish card your opponent have. Once per turn, this card is on your field. You can banish any fire ally to negate any one attack.
Mm-hmm.
Plus 100. Plus plus. And it costs 2 equipment costs.
Mm-hmm. So as it sits, it gives you plus 100, right? Then it's going to give you the plus 100 for every ally. Then it lets you use it as a negate if you discard, if you banish fire allies. So overall, it's a great dual card, right? It's a dual card. It's a 2 EA cost, similar to all of our other 2 EA cost Kingdom cards. So this I think we've put every other Kingdom card between D and C, right?
Right.
I think it is appropriate. It does a little bit more than some of the other ones because it does the negate. The
Mm-hmm.
negate is pretty huge, right? On an
Right.
equip, having just instant negates is great. Yes, there is a lot of synergy. Yes, you need to be able to have fire cards to be able to use. But I think if you're running a fire portal, I think you're gonna do this. Honestly, the plus 100 to all fire allies for every banish card your opponent has, that's just gonna be a plus. If you're really running full fire, you're gonna give plus thousands, right? Because
Yeah.
if you're doing it right. But if you are playing it just to do the effect, you know, uh for I don't know 3, 4, 5 fire cards, I wouldn't play it. I wouldn't pay to EA to just do it.
Right. Right.
So I'll put it at C, high C, just because I think
Mm-hmm.
there is some merit to it because of the negates. That's why it's better than some of the other kingdoms, but I cannot put it at a B tier because honestly, it's just a little bit too expensive. And unless you're running
For
full
only
fire,
100
yeah,
too.
unless you're doing full fire synergy, that's pretty much it.
Hmm.
And then the mother of all cards. There you go. That's where it lives. Banishing Gaze. Banishing Gaze is a 3 EA. It has the lightning symbol, so you can play this and immediately it goes away. Um, Banish as many allies as you'd like from your field. If you do, you can banish the same amount from your opponent's field. If you have 0 cards on your field, you can play this card from your hand on your opponent's turn for 0 EC to banish 1 card they control. This card is versatile, right? Because of the second ability.
Hmm.
You play this card at the end of your opponent's turn. You do not play it during battle. You do not play it while they're summoning cards. You play it on the end of the turn. Why? Because if you play it at the end of the turn, it's a highly chance that you either know what cards are left. Let's say you had some cards on the field, they battled, he destroyed your entire field. At the end of the turn, boom, you kill something from their field. That's
Hmm.
effectively it. If you're gonna play hard cost for this card, you better banish at least 3 cards. Better. You like if you banish only 1 card, I think you wasted it. Uh
Most definitely. If you're only banishing one card, there for the 3 cost,
yeah.
you,
Brian
I,
Brian Brian taught me this at the beginning where he said you hold on to banishing gaze until you really need it. And when I was like, what if you want to get rid of, a ultimate protector, right? That's being annoying. I want to get rid of this ultimate protector because it's being annoying. You can kill ultimate protector. You can't kill protected spirit. It's such a
mhm,
pain in the ass to kill protected spirit. So you banish and gaze protected spirit. Now, here comes the problem. If the person only has 1 card on the field and they're literally stalling you out by having that 1 card on the field and you can't get over that 1 card on their field, then that might be a reason for you to use this with just one target, right? But you always try to gain more value from this card. You try to use it on 2 targets or more because it's gonna feel like you wasted it. There are ways to bringing this card back to your hand. You got the White Fox Knight. You got banish. What is it? I forgot its name. There's another card that lets you bring an equip card from the discard pile.
ooh,
I forgot its name.
let's see. Um, no, that's not it.
I forgot its name. Anyway, um, basically there are ways to bring this back if you need it and if you want it, right? The knight, the light knight that lets you bring 3 cards back from the discard pile. That
Mm.
card, it puts it back into your portal. You remember that one?
Oh, okay.
The
The
white,
third.
the mech knight, the it's a collector edition card.
Oh, let me pull it up. The White
I
Knight.
think I
Oh,
have
I
it.
see it right here. The Ivory Mech Knight.
That one, Ivory Neck Knight, that card. So
Yeah,
there,
when this card is summoned, you can summon or flip to return any 3 cards from any discard pile to the original owner's portal.
yeah. So you do that and you bring this card back along with some other cards that allow you to activate it and boom, bada boom. you can play it again. It's a good card, but save it. Save it for the right moment so that you can play it at the right time. That's pretty much it. Do you have any more thoughts on it?
No, you basically said it all.
Sorry, man. It's
No,
a
no, you're good.
it's a good card. I think everybody needs to have it in most of their portals. And
Mm-hmm.
okay, going to the collector editions. Why is it that
Which
people don't like this card?
the molten core destroyer?
Yeah, why is it that people don't like this card? I love this card.
I think it's just being very vanilla is why.
No,
But
no, no. People wish this card. Okay, people wish they had this card's attack. You get me?
right, that 1900 base
1900
attack,
base attack, 1900. You plop
just
this?
right off the rip, just
Yeah, yeah. And you can bring it back. It's okay. This card can win you games alone. You can win games with this card alone. That's how good this card is. It doesn't have any summoning condition. Yes, it doesn't have any EAs. Whatever. It's 1900. Do you know how hard it is to get to 1900?
yeah. Yeah.
Like, Deep Sea Knight is gonna take like 3-4 turns. Uh, what's that other one?
Force giant.
Forest Giant is gonna take 3 turns to get to 1900, and you're still not gonna be able to beat it because you need to go above 1900. So even what is this other guy, White Rogue Knight needs cards on the field face up to be able to come close to 1900. This card is 1900. There is
Hmm.
no gimmick to it. I think this is A tier.
Basically, the one time where fire summoner will be useful is to summon that
Yes,
molten core.
yes, 100% guaranteed. If you are looking, and actually not even fire summoner. There's a card that lets you summon summons, right? I think it's called Crystal Summon. It's
Okay, okay.
this card right here.
The the crystal dragon. No, no, no,
No, no,
no.
no.
Uh,
Where is it?
uh,
Where is Crystal Summon? Oh, this one right here. This card
oh, okay, okay.
is an Amber card. This card can let you summon other summon cards. It's an equip. It costs 3, right? So you at least need something of 3 cost. But here's a big but. You can play it on your opponent's turn for 0. I'm gonna show you where it is. What is this? A promo? I think it's a promo. Double check. Origin promo cards. Yes, it's a promo. So the card
I see.
reads: if your portal, no, sorry, search your portal for any summon card and add it to your field or inventory, aka your hand. If you have 0 allies on your field, you can play this card from your inventory on your opponent's turn before their attack phase for 0 EC. You play this card on your opponent's turn before they attack and you plop this giant 1900, I bet that your opponent's going to just not gonna
Shit
attack.
themselves.
No, they're just not going to attack.
Hmm.
They are not going to attack because you're essentially playing it as a defense mechanism.
Hmm.
So that's it for that. I think it's A tier. I would honestly put it as an S tier, but it needs a little bit more to be able to be S tier. But I think A tier, it's solid. It's a solid.
It's definitely the high of high A tier.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't even know why people don't like the card. I think it's a great card. I wish this card said multiple down here, so I could just have three of them. It's like crazy. Okay, next one. You want to read that one?
Let's see, the beetle.
No, that's
Not the
the
beetle.
mech, the HM flame mech.
Yeah, you got it.
So it's a 700 with 3 EA mech. Amazing. Durable. This card can survive one attack. That's a what is it that they called skills? Um, if any ally were to be defeated while this card is on the field, banish it instead of sending it to the discard pile. So for those that have never played Yu-Gi-Oh, there's a card called Macro Cosmos, and it essentially shares this effect where anything that was going to go to your graveyard goes to the banish zone. Well, same thing here. While this card's on the field, anything that's going to go to your discard zone that got destroyed and defeated is equal essentially to destroyed, aka in combat. It goes into the banish zone. This card is amazing, but it's very, very technical. You
Mhm.
need to use it in a portal that you know you're gonna get value from it. You can cast you can cast Banishing Gaze with it. You can survive multiple turns, so it's a defensive mechanism. It's good, but you're using it for its purpose. It's to, for example, if I were to play this against what is it called? Golem, right?
Mm.
And I defeated a golem, well, guess what? Now that all the other golems are going to be weaker now because it doesn't go
Right,
in the discard pile. If I did this against samurais, again, it's good, right?
right. Same thing with dragons going on with people who basically get buffed with being in the discard.
Yeah. Imagine if TD would have used this against B Thump at the championship match.
Mm,
Half of the discard zone for Dark would have been gone. There you go.
right.
You just collapsed their effect. So this
Basically, this card is a nice destroyer of portals that have to send cards to to the discard.
yeah, yeah, essentially. I think it's low A tier at the minimum.
Hmm.
It's low A
Yeah.
tier. And then last one not least, we got the Beetle. Okay,
We got the Red Beetle Samurai.
go for it.
So if you have one other beetle on your field or discard pile, discard gains plus 200. If you have two, discard gains 600 and cannot be banished. With a 1200 base attack with one equipment space.
What do you think about it?
So with that one, it's just like the what's the other card we had? The
Green.
green beetle king.
Yep.
So, but it's like a weaker version of
It,
that card,
it is. It's the weaker version of.
the Beetle King.
I don't
So
like this
with
card.
with that being said, like for the Beetle King, we had him at a B, only because he it was situational as well. You had to have another beetle, but he gave better bonuses for doing that.
Yep.
This, on the other hand, it's way less.
It is
It's only
weaker.
giving you only 200 for having another, and only 600 for having two of the cards,
Right. So,
two other cards.
you're basically, where Green Beetle Knight just with the one gets you to 1800. This requires you to have both, and you know it's difficult because yes, it has the one EA which the Green Beetle Knight didn't have, right?
Hmm.
And that could buff it a little bit, right? You can put a samurai specific equipment on this, and the synergies there, right? The problem is it's on its two legs. It's weaker than the green one. I've played it and the water one, and honestly, 1400 just gets crumbled.
Mm.
So no, I don't think it's worth it.
He's yeah, he's definitely weaker, but he's at least better than all the ones in the C tier. Cause
Oh yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
he can definitely get up there, but you would need to have the other two to just match up with the Beetle King.
Yeah, yeah. I think Red Samurai is better than it. Simple. Like there you go. I think Red Samurai can be better than Red Beetle Samurai.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. So we went through the CEs. Let me double check, making sure that there's nothing else before we go to the.
Wasn't there? I thought I saw one in Origins. Oh no. Okay.
Where's the? Okay, so
What about
Fire
the
now. We already covered it.
what about the Exile? No.
What exile?
No.
Zaldrix?
Yeah, but that's
Well, where's Zaldrix?
he's in Origins.
Yeah, but where is?
He's at the very, very bottom.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Okay. Okay, yeah, Zaldrix. Okay, we'll do Angry Fire Knight first, and then we'll do Zaldrix. So Angry Fire. Actually, no. Let's do Zaldrix first, and then we'll do that.
Okay.
Okay. Zaldrix is a SS. There you go.
So with Aldrich summon, this like can only be controlled by its original owner and cannot be exiled. Equip. Exile any number of allies on your field, then exile the same amount of on your opponent's field. Basically, playing it outright, it has a 2400 base attack, but it 3 equipment costs. But with his equipment effect, it's crazy.
It's amazing. This card is versatile. It's a powerhouse. It is the single easiest card to put on the board that has the most amount of attack, right? Because
Hmm.
you can look at No Name Dragon, but No Name Dragon has a condition to be able to summon it. So this card
Hmm.
has no condition. You just play it. Boom, there you go. It's done. Um, 2400 is good luck.
You
And
trying to get to that, it
yeah,
will be extremely difficult.
now I gotta admit this card is gonna be stupidly rare. I How I see it is one person is gonna get this card, and everybody else is not gonna be able to. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. This card's really rare. It's an infinite rare. Like I think we've done the math, and basically you need to open a bunch load of cases, not boxes, cases. That's 8 boxes to be able to
Hmm.
get it, and it's gonna be hard to find.
Right, right.
Um, but it is so worth it. Just put it on any deck. Literally, any deck can just carry this card. It'll take you out of clutch situations. It'll yes, it has a 3 EA cost. It's right on there with banishing gaze, but it is just so worth it. It is. That's it. That's Aldrix right there.
Hmm.
Angry Fire Sprite. What do you think about it?
It basically like any well, it's not any
Not
ordinary
really.
sprite. So, because with Angry Fire Sprite is this card can also be treated as an equipment card to any fire ally. And then this card also gains an extra 300 for every Angry Fire Sprite in your discard.
Yep.
Um, his base is 200 plus. You can have at least three of them. If you play it outright, he does have a three equipment space, or as an equipment, it has one equipment cost.
Right. I
So
I would play this more than I would probably play these other cards.
right, more
Surprisingly.
than the fire sprite itself, like you would have to have personally, you would have to have another uh fire angry fire sprite in the discard to just bump this one up.
Yep.
I mean, it'll bring it up to 500, but it's nice to have that little extra 500. I mean,
Yeah.
extra 300, bump it up.
Yeah. So so it's solid. It's a solid card. And
Mhm.
by the way, I just want to make sure people understand for this one because it's sometimes confusing. The effect of the extra plus 300 does apply to the equip effect. It does. Okay? So if you equip this to a Kai and then you discard an Angry Fire Sprite, yes, you do get uh the plus 300 from it. Do you understand?
Mhm.
Okay. Anyway, moving
Next.
to the next one.
Uh,
Where's the next one?
the fire dragon.
Fire Dragon. Okay.
So fire dragon, it's just a vanilla summon. It's 1100 base attack and it has one equipment space.
Never play.
the, that's all it is to it. There's nothing to that card.
Yep. Never playing it.
Next card is the
Wa-
wildfire,
yep. Wildfire. Beautiful card.
and then
Beautiful card. God,
wildfire is.
I wish this card would have been full art.
Oh yeah. With this card gains plus 100 for every fire card in any
Yep.
discard pile.
There you go.
So and then it's a plus question mark question mark question mark
Yep.
with a one equipment cost, meaning it can just keep on shooting up as long as there's fire cards in the discard pile.
In any discard file. So
Mhm.
this is great. It's this whole synergy of fire, but sadly, the problem with it is you need you need fire cards in your discard pile, so it's only for mono fire. That's where it really shines. Now, in comparison, and in the past, we brought over some of the other cards that do this exact same thing. Like if you look at the previous tier lists, something like the aid of the skeleton. That's C tier class that we put in the uh, dark attribute. That gave plus 100 uh for every, I think, for every dark ally, I think it was something like that.
Yeah,
uh
yeah.
well, so the thing about wildfire is that it's for every fire card, not ally, not equip. It's any card. So it's really good when you think about equips. Some of the best equips are in the fire section. We're talking uh this one, the red banishing sword. We're talking the um the crown is good. Banishing gaze is good. Red sun is good. So if you count all those up, does amount to
Hmm.
something. So, anyway, to me, I think it's a B tier. I think
Yeah,
it actually
it
goes up.
just for being any fire card, doesn't matter if it's ally or not, in any discard pile. At least for the other ones, it said specifically your own. This
Hmm.
one is at least any,
Yep.
but it has to be fire. So yeah, B tier.
Yep. Okay. Next card. Red Banishing Sword. This card attacks. If a card attacks an ally equipped with this card, banish it. Plus 100 fire, so only applies to fires, and 1 EA. Okay, gotta make it clear about this card. If a ally attacks your ally and it has this equipped, yes, you banish the opponent allies, but the attack does go through. So if your opponent beats you in combat, you do lose the ally you had this equipped on. It is not a I flipped this and you go banish. No. They fight and your opponent also loses essentially. He gets banished, you get discarded. That's how this card works. So, now, if you put it on a big boy, guess what? It's amazing.
Hmm.
uh
What?
I think it's good. It's a good card. I think it's right there. S tier. What do you think?
S tier? Yeah, with it to be banished. Yeah, like the whole effect of banishing cards, I personally enjoy. They're such an amazing thing to have instead of sending cards to the discard where things can be ramped up in there. At least in the banishing, not a whole lot of cards can get ramped off the banish. So
Right. Right. I mean, the reason why I think it can stand on its two legs, and I've done this already, you can play it on any deck. It doesn't need to be fired. You don't need to give the plus 100. You
hmm
play it because you know your opponent's going to attack the monster you're playing it to, the ally, sorry, you're playing it to, and you want them to suffer for attacking that guy.
yeah,
That's basically it. Um, so next guy, White Sun. This is a beautiful, beautiful card. All cards on the field except light and fire attribute lose 300 attack. Man, this card in combination with Red Sun, in combination with Swamp Knight. That's it. That right there is just literally you play this card, you play Red Sun, and you equip them to um, Swamp Knight, and you're done.
yeah. Especially also being a one cost too. Like, come on now.
Yeah, literally, it's ridiculous. Okay, so I like this card. It's solid. Yes, you do need to be playing fire. It's 200. I kind of think it's slightly worse than Red Sun because Red Sun is just a little bit more powerful than it.
Right, and then it gives people less opportunity
Right.
to go around it because it has light
Light.
and fire.
Yeah, more people play light cards than fire cards
Hmm.
as attacking cards, like your White Rogue Knight. Um, I mean, there's a couple of other white cards that are pretty decent as like attacker cards.
Right, right.
Um, so I think that is it for fire. I think that's it. That's
Yeah,
all
I think
fire.
that is it.
Let me double check, make a second pass at the list. Let's see if I find anything else. Most of these other things are amber. Man,
Yeah, that looks like it.
yeah. Well, thank you everybody. Catch you on the next one.
See.